Help them figure what they want out of life. But you know everything it come with a price. Wanna maximize your money and time. Might have to take the uncommon advice.
Let's go into our, we got kind of like our core topic segment, right? We want to talk about something more business. Those are, I guess, not so much about our business, what other people are doing, but also a way to help you within business, right? So
yeah,
segment 3, we want to talk about hard work versus talent.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people, they think that talent just gets them by, right? I mean, I think it gets you by for a certain point until you hit a level, right? So, for example, I'm going to use sports just because I'm a big sports fan and I can use it that way. You can have all the talent in the world when you're starting off at the young age of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Probably
you
12.
know how many Ronaldos and Messis there are
exactly.
at 7 years old right now?
Exactly. But the problem is when you get to that 13, 14, 15, where you're meeting kids already that have either the same talent you grew up with, or if they put in the work and the skill talent matches, what's going to get you over that now, right? It's what's going to get you over, and it's the work that you put in. And everybody says it. Like if you look at professional athletes or singers or actors, it all comes down to the work you put in. If an actor doesn't put in the work to learn his scripts, he cannot continue growing. He will not get Tom Cruise would never get a set in a movie in Top Gun if he did not know the other person who auditioned for that. If he did not know it better or acted better or worked harder on it, he would have never gotten in that position. So it just comes down to is like talent. There's a point your talent just reaches its limits. Like, all right, now you got to put in the work. And that's what I feel like in business that people don't understand. And one talent I think which is very important in sales, right? So there's people that are just, you say, oh, that's like that person lives for sales, right? Because he's just very emotional. He's with his hands. He's talking. He's outgoing. But you also need to put in the hard work of you got to pick up that phone. You got to call. You got to write that email. You got to learn what are some of the opening lines I can use. What are some of the closings I need to work on? So hard work is very important. But Nate, for you, so in the marketing world, was it just talent? Were you just born with all this like marketing brain, and you're like, okay, when I hit 21, I'm gonna I'm in it, or did you were putting in the hard work?
Yeah, that's all I've ever known. So for me, it's going back to a young age. I played a lot of sports growing up. I was never when I was in Little League, I was one of the faster kids, and then everyone caught up to me, right? And when I was short, so like I moved better. When all my other tall friends were growing, they didn't move like I did, right? So they grew into their bodies. But I think as they all caught up with me, I realized like it wasn't so much the talent or that I had. It was the fact that I was just willing to work harder. So in the summers, I'm out in the street running sprints, and I'm in the gym lifting, and I'm like, I was always just a hard worker, and that's how really I've got into business. Like, it's all self-taught. Everything I've done over the years in the marketing, I did go to college, I did get my degree in finance, and now I'm in the marketing space. So I think for me, it was all self-taught. It was figuring things out. The internet today. And the things we do today in marketing is way different than obviously what was available when I graduated college back in 2002, right? There's an eternity of time, it feels like, that happened in the internet world during that. So I have to constantly be learning and working and growing. And I think that's a lesson for everyone in business, right? Yep. As soon as you feel like you made it, or you're just better than the next person, or you're too talented to lose, that's when you're going to lose, because you're not putting in the work to get better.
I mean, that's a great way to put it there. But one thing that I've noticed with hard work in the business side of things is people think, with the hard work in the business side of things is you need to have the hard work. And hard work is not just you do everything, right? But it's about consistency. One part of hard work is consistency. Being able to set a goal, set a plan, and get it done. And figuring out a way to get it done, right? Like Nate's mentioned in podcasts before, where if he didn't know how to do it, you just went out and you got someone who can do it, right? Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean you have to learn everything, but I think that's one thing that people fail is they think everything's handed. You get to $1 million, your business gets to $1 million revenue. Oh, that was okay. That was easy.
It was overnight.
Yeah, no, you put in a lot of hard work to get there, but now you got to work even harder to get to the 10 million. Mm-hmm. It's just not going to happen. Just because you got to $1 million doesn't mean I know this is cake. No, to get to 10 million, you're probably going to have to do everything you did to get to $1 million and probably 100x more. Mm-hmm. Just because it's part of it, and talent doesn't take you far. We say it again. I'm gonna use Jordan. Jordan, I think he moved. I think he's from Jersey or New York or something. He moved down here, to North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, and he did not make his varsity team. Can you believe that? What's considered probably one of the best players to ever play the game, not make his varsity team. So guess what Jordan had to do? He had to work hard. He had to work harder than everybody else to make the team. And again, and you can't say, oh, Jordan has talent. No, I mean, the facts are there.
Yeah.
He didn't make it.
I think what separates Jordan is not only did he have the work ethic and was willing to work to become the best, right? He also has this just killer instinct. And I think in business, you almost have to have that too, right? You've got to have like this desire, this deep down desire to win. What does winning mean to you, right? First, what does it mean to you, and what are you willing to do to get there, right? And so you have to define that, and that you have that. So you almost have a lot of people call that their why, right? You got to have a why on what you're doing, and it's going to drive you. But you got to have that will. You got to be able to work hard. You got to have the will to do it. You got to be consistent, right? There's a lot to it, and then also more importantly, like, you know, the why is important. But like, what are you really doing it for? Like, what does winning look like to you, and what are you willing to do to get there?
So basically, you have to be a dog. And then just put it in the short words. You have to be a dog, huh? For hard work, and it's true. I mean, we say it when we're coaching out there, right? There's some kids when we coach, and I'm gonna bring this into an example too. So this last weekend, Nate's team played this team where I am telling you, the kid was 12 years old, 6'4", and was literally built like he can play with any 18-year-old out there. That kid was a monster. I mean, and usually when you see a kid at 6'4", 12, you're like, he's big, but he hasn't grown into his body. No, this was like a freak athlete. The kid was like catching ridiculous amount, but guess what? That kid at some point, he's gonna have to put the hard work in. That talent's not gonna take him, because when he does hit 15, 16, everybody's your height now. Everybody's your size. So it's like it gets to a point where it stops. It stops, and that's what happens in business. It's like you got to continue. It's not just I put a little bit of hard work here, I put a little bit of hard work there. No, you have to continue, and you're gonna mess up with your hard work. But it depends on how do I bounce back from that, and do I have, like Nate said, you have to have that dog mindset. That dog mindset is so important for hard work, and I feel like there's a lot of people who don't have it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, because they run up against one scenario where it doesn't work out, right? So they quit or they move on, and I think, you know, just like, so we've equated a lot to business, sports, right? You got talent in sports. It's easy to look at talent in sports and go, that guy can run fast, he can jump high, he's got skills. In business, the talent is really here, right? The talent's your mind. And so what you need to work on is constantly gaining more knowledge. The way that you work hard, gain more knowledge. Now, when I say work hard, a lot of people think that work hard is like get in the trenches, get in the weeds and do the work. Yeah, there are moments for that, right? But a lot of times working hard could be learning a new skill that you don't know so you guys can be better at it. It's the skill is becoming and gaining the knowledge to become the person you have to be to get where you want to be, right? And if you are willing so it's a little bit different. I'm not, you know, in business, I may not be working on my vertical jump, right? But I am working on
40s down the hallway.
Yeah, not doing 40-yard dash. But I'm working on leadership skills. I'm working on figuring out how to stay ahead of the curve. I'm learning new strategies. I'm learning growth. I'm learning how to invest better. I'm learning how to never work for the same dollar twice, right? Like there's things in these skills that you can gain. That hard work sometimes can be hard. It can be mentally hard to learn that stuff and exhaustive and draining because you're constantly in it. So it's a little, you know, the talent from the field a little bit different than the talent from the boardroom,
the business.
Right?
And I'm guessing you weren't born with that talent, right, Nate?
No, absolutely not.
You weren't born with the talent of where to invest and all that. No one is.
Yeah.
That's all knowledge. That's all knowledge based. It's like what Nate said. It's all knowledge. And there's a lot of tools out there that can help you, right? It comes back to working hard, right? You need to make an action plan, or you need to create an action to go and do it, because if not, nobody else is going to do it for you.
Well, and I think it's one skill set. I've never been the smartest in the room, but I've always considered myself one of the most resourceful. Right. Mm-hmm. And being resourceful, I believe, will get you farther than always worried about being the smartest. Because being resourceful allows me to reach out and tap in and connect with other people that I don't that I know I'm willing to say, hey, I'm not the smartest, but I'm willing to be resourceful to go find the smartest. And so sometimes when people are like really book smart, but they can't communicate and execute and or sometimes I've run into people that are really, really smart, but they're unwilling to ask or, accept that someone may know more than them. And so it kind of creates this barrier for them to stop learning, for them to learn and grow, right? There's a barrier, a ceiling that's holding them back until they realize, hey, you know what? I don't have to be the smartest. I just need to be able to go learn from other smart people too. So.
Egos. It's one of the biggest things that might hurt you to be successful is your ego, and just being open up to taking advice. And I think didn't we talk about this in one of the last podcasts, or did you do a reel on it on just how important it is to just accept advice or accept help from other people?
Yeah, so we talked about that last week in regards to it's one thing to be willing to give. Got to be very giving, give advice, everything else, but we also have to be willing to accept advice when it comes in, and receive it. So, I think it's
important to have.
Important to have. So we all got ego, man. The question is, how do we let it impact where we're going? Do we use it to fuel us, or does it fuel us and help us grow, or does our ego hold us back because of it's stopping us from learning and being willing to communicate and talk?
Yeah. So as we wrap this up, guys, listen, talent will only take you far, but that's in sports. Talent will only take you far because that's in sports. Hard work is what's going to help you get big in business, right? We're all not born with the financial equations behind our head on how to set things up. We're all not born with the computer skills to do things. We're all not born with the marketing brain to do things. You have to learn it. So just go out there and work hard. That's all. Work hard, and if you're my age, this is the age you should be working hard. I've always thought that this is your grind years. That's what I've always thought about it. Like, this is my grind years. When I get to 30, that'll hopefully be my fun years.
So when he gets to his 30s, he's hoping those are his fun years. So I don't know what he's talking about. I'm still in my grind years, and I'm in my 40s.
Well, you know what I mean. It's a little more. You can grind a little bit less.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just how we grind changes, right?
Correct.
So in the beginning, because I was always hustling 24. I believe in that 24/7 mindset, work, and I did a lot of that. I worked hard, I played hard, and then kids started coming along, and then I'm like, all right, now I got to be really focused on what work I'm doing, so I'm not working all the time, and then and it's becoming working harder, not working smarter, not harder. They say, but at the same time, like. Depends how you want to define words. Sometimes people want to split hairs with that.
Yeah, you got this whole work-life balance. It's
that's garbage, but we don't need to talk about that right now. We need to talk about that. We'll talk about that another time.
Well, guys, make sure to like, subscribe the podcast, watch the roast, keeping you guys updated on what we got going on. And if there's any topic you want us to speak on, is there a marketing strategy that you as a business owner or your company wants us to look at? Hey, it's a win-win, right? You get a little free consultation there. But make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
This might have to take the uncommon advice.